Cameron Proctor from Big Gold Belt Media. Today we are joined by Anthony Boyle, who is starring as John Wilkes Booth in Manhunt on Apple TV, premiering Friday, March 15th. Anthony, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I think you've got a great name. Gold Belt Media? Big Gold Belt
Big
Media?
Gold Belt Media, yeah, that's it.
Great title. That's a great name
Thank you.
for a thing.
I'm glad you love it. Honestly, that's great to hear. So just jumping right into it, I'm from the Washington D.C. area. I was born in Washington D.C., raised in Maryland. Seeing a lot of these scenes on here with you as John Wilkes Booth, who's just not a friendly character that I've loved in my life growing up. But seeing all these historical sites, before you got ready to take on this role, did you know much about this person of John Wilkes Booth?
I mean, I knew who he was and I knew what he did, but I didn't know he was an actor. I didn't know I didn't know he was one of the most famous actors of his time.
Right.
So there was a lot of research on my part, reading his letters. I'd read every letter he had ever written from the age of 15 to 26. I'd read all these books written on him. So there was a lot of research going in, but I wasn't very familiar with him, you know.
Gotcha. Well, that kind of trickles into my next question. How did you find the voice of John Wilkes Booth? Seeing that he preceded the time of having, videography or any type of recordings, how did you find that voice or that cadence of that kind of arrogance of Booth?
I had a great dialect coach called Cynthia Blast, and we looked at what the Maryland accent would have been like at that time, and then we looked at the sort of southern twang that he may have affected to sort of get sympathetic or cozy with his southern counterparts. And then we looked at the stage actor, the classic stage actor of that time, the sort of transatlantic thing, and just tried to mesh it all into one melting pot of, that sort of drawl that he has and that kind of bassy thing, that, something that you would hear and go, oh, he makes me shudder, like that, the thing you did, like that is
I know.
Is what we tried to do.
You can't help it. When I hear John Wilkes Booth, it's like a natural reaction for myself. And it's crazy to think, I've been able to see the series, and I think you just did such an amazing job nailing this character to a T. And it's just an honor to be able to talk to you here right now.
Thanks, man.
But just thinking about working the long days on the set, right? What was the most agonizing part of being on set, honestly?
The days when I would have a rock in my shoe, to have the sort of the broken leg, rock in my shoe, and I would put like a brace on my leg, to give the sort of pain aspect, and the heat would be so hot in Savannah in the summer, and you're wearing these black cloaks, and then you've got to get on the horse and jump off the horse, and those days were pretty tough. But it's self-inflicted, so you can't cry about it.
Yeah, it makes sense. Honestly, I had a prediction. I thought it honestly was the horse saddles. I got to see those in the show, and they look bare. I was like, oh man, sitting on those things all day long had to be agonizing.
No,
honestly,
I loved the horses, man. See, I didn't mind the horse saddles. I loved being on the horses or near the horses. I had a great time doing that.
That's good. That's great, man. Well, thank you again for joining me today. But everybody at home, make sure you go check out Manhunt on Apple TV, premiering Friday, March 15th. Anthony, it's been a pleasure. I wish you nothing but the best in the future. Thank you again.
Thank you, man. You too. Cheers.
Thank you. Appreciate it.